Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's our great pleasure to be with you today. And we have our dearest colleague, Mr. Muhammad Sami. Mr. Muhammad Sami, we're talking today about very important topic, which HR certificate is good for you, because I got a lot of questions from many people asking me about what's the best certificate they can go for, whether they need certificate in the beginning or not, and what value it will add to them, and which HR certificate is good for them. And I couldn't find better than our dearest colleague Muhammad Sami to talk to me about this because of his great experience in this. So this session comes to you from HR Leaders Kuwait. I've been for almost 11 years working now to help HR people in Kuwait and now in the region, okay, to know more about what are the HR best practices and share knowledge and information, get to know each other, and to develop themselves, their organizations, and the whole communities. Also, we have the privilege to be with the Quality and Excellence group in Middle East and Qatar School Middle East and the HR Excellence Club. Okay, so I will leave the mic to our dear colleague, Mr. Muhammad Sami, to introduce himself and to start this wonderful session. And please, if you have any questions, please write in the chat box and then we can discuss. Thank you so much, Muhammad.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad Rabi'. Thank you everyone who honored me with their attendance today. Hope for this to be a very interactive class for everyone. Feel free to ask as many questions as you want. And who's ready to start? If you are ready, then show me that you are ready. Hello. Good to go. And here we go. So everyone can see the screen clear? The PowerPoint is clear for everyone? Thumbs up again? Okay, here we go. So which HR certificate is good for you? Because we want our HR community to be the superheroes and to lead their organizations to the success that they deserve. So what we'll be discussing today, I'll talk a little bit about my background. So why I'm presenting this about the different HR certification and qualifications. And we want to define what is HR. Then we want to go through what are the benefits of being certified. What should you expect? What is in it for me being a certified professional? What are the different HR certifying bodies? And we will discuss what is being recognized internationally. And then we'll have the floor for the questions and answers. Sounds weird. Hopefully by the end of the session, the unknown will be finally known. So a little bit about my background. I have been in the HR function for a little bit more than 10 years. I worked in different industries. I worked in FMCGs, hospitality, food service, construction, and I handle different things into HR. So you can say more or less I'm a generalist. I worked talent acquisition. I worked with total rewards, learning and development, OD, organizational development and design. So in terms of the qualification that I have, I'm certified from CIBD. I have level 5 diploma in HR management. Senior professional in human resources from the HRCI. I'm also certified from Sherm, certified senior professional and certified professional. Going back to my very first certificate, it was the human resources business professional, rebranded as VHRI. That was in 2014. Now, talking about my experience and training. Now, right now, I'm the instructor for Sherm CB as well as Sherm SCB. I taught that for KOC. I taught it for GUST, Gulf University for Science and Technology. I taught it at the American University in Kuwait. And the most recent engagement, I'm teaching it now for Kuwait Institute for Banking Studies, which is the educational arm of the Central Bank of Kuwait. I'm the instructor for HRCI programs for Infinity Training Center, where I taught up till now 9 batches of BHRI, 1 batch of SBHRI, and 1 batch of ABHRI. We'll talk about all of them in a little bit. Also, I used to be the instructor for Charisma. I taught 3 batches of BHRI there. Also, I worked with a company called Destination Outdoors for experiential learning. This is actually learning by doing. So rather than giving you a lecture and then you will have the exam, we'll put you in the exam that will teach you a lesson later on. And also I'm teaching business skills like professional CV writing, how to pass interviews with confidence, time management, communication skills, leadership skills, and all of that. Now, what are my contributions to the HR world here in Kuwait? I conducted the very first Sherm awareness workshop for KOC, thanks to Dr. Muhammad, who introduced me to them back in 2019. I also conducted the HR qualification and certification awareness, much similar to what I'm doing with you today. That was done for the United Nations office here in Kuwait. I delivered so many programs about how to write your CVs in a professional way, how to pass your interviews with confidence. Also, I delivered the positive and the negative energy at the workplace for Warburg Insurance. And one of the things that I'm exceptionally proud about it, back in 2016, I joined hands with Sherm and AIR, the American Institute for Research, to develop 22 situational judgment questions. And that's why Sherm did not allow me to teach for 2 years after that. So I was not allowed to teach Sherm during 2017 and 18. I resumed teaching in 2019. So this is about me. This is what I'm doing. This is one of my BHRI batches back at Infinity. This is the Sherm batch that I have had at KOC. This is the HR certification and qualifications awareness done at the United Nations office here in Kuwait. And now, what is HR? Now that sounds weird that I asked such a thing. All of us here are HR professionals, but I want to hear from you. So please, if you could write in the chat box and let me know, what is HR for you? What does it mean? What does it mean? What is the meaning of human resource management? HR professionals, what is HR to you? Improvement, okay. Thank you, Dalia. Improvement. Talent management, Batul. People management, Isra. Responsibility. Sami Shimari. Managing, Yusuf, thank you so much. Managing the most vital resource in any company. Cannot agree more. Now I'll give you my own definition of HR, how I see it. Now this is Muhammad Sami's definition, so don't tell me that you haven't came across that in any book. Now how I define HR, it is the art and science. Not anyone, not any Tom, Dick, or Harry can become an HR person. Art is about competences. When we talk about the competences, we talk about the KSAs, and I don't mean Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm talking about the knowledge, skills, and abilities interacting together to make someone competent. Now, the science is the easy part. You can gain that by attending a class, by taking an MBA, by watching a YouTube video or something. The ecosystem of injecting happiness and motivation to engage workforce and to achieving one holistic purpose. Wow, the base of the company. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you, Abir. So back to the definition, it is the art and science. Science is the easy part. You get it, as I said, during the course of studying. Art, you need to develop it with the practice. Not anyone can become a good communicator. Not anyone can have the ethical practice. Not anyone can develop the critical thinking. So it is the art and science of utilizing human capital. When we talk about human capital, we talk about the people with their experiences, with their competences, with their education, with their abilities. Now, in any organization, we have the working capital, the cash, the raw materials, the equipment, the tools, the machinery, all of that, and the human capital. Both of them, they come in what we call a socio-technical system to produce the goods and services that are of value to the customers. Now, let me ask you a question. Which is more important, the human capital or the working capital? What do you think? What do you think and why? Human capital or working capital? And most importantly, a good HR should ask why most of the time. Human capital? Okay, why? Human, because they are the ones who manage it. Correct, Dalia. Now, my second question here, what is the only ancient wonder that you can see from the space? I'm an Egyptian, but it is not the pyramids. It is the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China took 1,800 years to be built completely. It is stretching over 5,000 miles, almost 7,900 something kilometers. It was built to protect China or the Middle Kingdom from the invaders, from the Han, from the Mughal, and all of them. Yet they kept on invading China, not because the wall was not high enough or stretching for a long distance or with proper strength. Easily they used to bribe the gatekeepers to allow them in. Before you invest in stones, make sure that you invest in humans. Before you invest only and solely in the working capital, remember that you have to invest in the human capital who is responsible to operate the working capital. So without a doubt, human capital is the most important thing. Now, if we look for countries like Japanese, for example, what are the natural resources that the Japanese have? Fish and rice. That's it. No oil, no charcoal, nothing. But they invested heavily in the human factor. They invested heavily in education, and look for them today. Let me go back to my definition. It is the art and science of utilizing human capital. In which way? Effectively and efficiently to do the right things and to do things right. Utilizing human capital effectively and efficiently in order to achieve organizational objectives. And I did not say company here. When we talk about an organization, organization is holistic. It includes everything, because we could be an organization that is a public sector. They have their HR. What is the aim of the public sector or the governmental sector? It is the service for the community living within the borders of a certain country. Whereas when we talk about businesses or the private sector, their goal is what? Their goal is profit maximization, or at least loss minimization. And there's also a third sector, because when we talk about Beit Zakat here in Kuwait, United Nations, Greenpeace, Red Cross, they are neither governmental or public, nor they are private or businesses. They are called the third sector, or the NGOs, non-governmental organizations, or NBOs, non-for-profit organizations. And their purpose is the improvement, it is the enhancement of the welfare of the humanity. Now, all of the three, they have their own HR departments, but HR, what they are doing is different from an organization to an organization, from an industry to another. So if I ask you a question, if HR had a color, which color that might be? If HR had a color, if we had a flag, what kind of a flag we will have, which color we should choose for the HR flag. Gray from Yasmin. Okay. Come on, guys. I want to hear from everyone. White and red. Okay. Green. Blue. Okay. Light blue. Okay. That's more specific. Thank you, Albir. Now, according to me, HR is neither black nor blue. It depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on the industry. It depends on the environment. HR is the 1,000 shades of gray. What could be correct and true in one situation can be totally wrong in another situation. Let me give you a scenario here. Now, you are in a hotel. You are the HR manager for a hotel. You found someone who is not wearing clean clothes, unshaved, smelly. What you are going to do with such a person? You'll tell me that we'll terminate him. He is shameful to the place, and we cannot have such people. That might be true. Now, of course, termination is the extreme, but just I'm trying to emphasize things. Now, that might be true for a hotel, but in a cement factory, that could be exactly the opposite. You would terminate someone who is clean, well-shaved, and smelling very good. Why? Because that means they are not working. You expect people to be dirty because that is the sign that they are working hard for the cement factory. So HR is gray. It depends. Situational judgment. What could be true in one situation can be totally wrong in another situation. So that is HR. Now, keep that definition in your minds because we will capitalize on that down the road. Moving to my second question. Why you need to be certified, first of all? What is in it for me in being certified? And I'm sure that you are wondering what the car has to do with that kind of a question. Now, I want to ask you, who's driving here? Show me thumbs up if you are driving. Driving. Are you good drivers? So I suppose yes. Okay, now here you go with that scenario. Now, you are a good driver and you have a good car and your best friend came to you begging, please give me your car. I want your car. And you know that this best friend does not have a driving license. Will you give it to him? Will you give your car to him? No, Yasmin. Yasmin, he's your best friend. For goodness sake. Even, okay. Mr. Ahmed Hattoum, you will give your car?
No way, unless you have a license.
No. Type, why? Okay, it is a no, but why it is a no?
A license and HR is the same. We have to have a certified or an accredited license to be trusted on delivering the desired objectives.
Thank you so much. Now, when you give someone a car without having a driving license, you are afraid that he might risk his life. He might risk the car itself. It might be damaged by him. He might kill someone because he does not know how to drive. So you will not give your car because someone is not certified that he can drive that kind of a car. But if he has a license, you will willingly give him that car. Now, we agreed that human capital is the most important asset for any organization. Why would you entrust any Tom, Dick, or Harry to drive your most important and most valued asset without being certified? Being certified, whether that you have a driving license, whether that you have an HR qualification, means that there has been a neutral body that tested your skills and knowledge about driving, whether that was driving a car or driving human capital, and they allowed you to drive it, and you can expect that you can be successful doing that. Okay, so that is the reason why owners, general managers trust people who are certified more than others who are not certified, because I'm not willing to discover if you know how to do things at my own cost, being subject to lawsuits, being subject to a high turnover, being subject to a low level of engagement. I don't want to learn the hard way. I would rather go that you have been tested by someone else at your own cost before allowing you to drive my human capital. So what is in it for you to be certified? First of all, it strengthens your CV. Now, in today's competitive world, you need to stand out of the crowd. And what is a better way to show your to showcase and to prove your competency other than to be certified? Also, it increases your self-confidence. You know, another scenario, you are walking down the road and there's someone who's a bodybuilder, a giant, and that guy is trying to pick a fight with you. You'll fight back or try to escape the situation. Now, others who are arguing with you, they know that you know, and you know that you know. You have a greater self-confidence in yourself. So that really shows off during the meetings, interviews, discussions, everywhere. It increases the promotions and the increment opportunities. Now, some companies, whenever you come and show them a certificate, they will give you an increment. Now, this is not the right way to do things, but normally when you get a new certificate, you'll be able to get an increment. Why? Because your terminology will change. The way you are approaching things will change. The way you contribute to the business as a business partner, not as someone who is responsible to do the payroll, to have the employee files, and to issue the sales certificates. HR is a business partner. We already casted away our industrial relations and personnel management long time ago. It is good for the reputation of the organization, that they can be proud that our HR team is fully certified. Okay, and especially here in Kuwait, banks are going in that direction. They don't want to have anyone in their HR departments who are not certified. Better job security. Now, if things will go bad, cost cutting, this and that, and let's say that in one department there are 2 HR professionals, one is certified and one is not certified, and the company has to decide to go with one only. Which one they will keep? Okay, I don't need to answer that, you know it. And the most important thing, a strategic business partner who contribute to the business, to the bottom line, to the organization. With all due respect, you go to the general manager or the owner and talk about employees are not happy, haram, it is not the nice way, they will kick you out. But when you start talking numbers and talking the business language, having the business acumen or the business savvy, they will be willing to listen to you. So that is about the benefits of the certification. Now let's talk about what are the different options that we have for you to be certified. Now we know that being certified is very important. It is extremely important, and it is not anymore a luxury that it is good to be certified. Now it is becoming a must. You cannot find any bank or any investment company nowadays in Kuwait that in their vacancies, they don't mention that you have to be certified from HRCI, Sherm, CIBD, or whatever. So what are the different options that you have to be certified? Now, we have 3 internationally recognized certifying bodies for HR. We have the HRCI, we have the Sherm, and we have the CIBD. And we have other, this is internationally recognized. We have another 2 recognized only in their countries. We have the HRPA, which is in Canada, and we have the AHRI in Australia, but only in their respective countries. CIBD, HRCI, and Sherm are recognized everywhere you go. So let's discuss them one by one. CIBD is the oldest. That's why if you can check Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, that time we did not use the word HR. When we started for the very first time ever, our name was Industrial Relations. Then down the road, we became Personnel Management. 1980s, the very first time it came as Human Resource Management, Human Capital. Then people thought that it is not nice to describe people as capital, and we started talking about Talent Management. This is another story, however. It is founded in 1913. It is in London. As I mentioned, it is the oldest in the world of HR. 160,000 members worldwide. They have 3 levels for their qualification. Level 3, 5, and 7. There is no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 5, and 7. 3 as for HR administrators. We are talking about people who are coordinators, officers. Level 5 is for managers. And level 7 is for directors. We are talking about VP of people, CHRO, all of that. They don't have something for people who are just starting. So they require someone to have at least 2 years of experience. Now, how to pass their qualification? It is not an exam. Mainly you have to write white papers. Now you'll have to do 15 researches, 2,500 words minimum each, and you have to include 3 to 5 different resources, and you need to have your own words. So you attend some classes, you have some assignments within the class, okay, and then you are on your own to come up with the research papers, submit them, get the score, and bingo, you are qualified from CIBD. Now, this is very good for people who are the studious types, people who, people who are used to the master's degrees, because it is very similar. My second organization is Sherm, the Society for Human Resource Management, founded in 1948, Alexandria, Virginia, United States of America. 300,000 members so far, and they do have 2 certificates, which are the Sherm Certified Professional, CP, and the Sherm Senior Certified Professional, SCP. Now, what is the difference between them? And now remember something about the headquarters, Alexandria, Virginia, United States of America. I'll remind you about that later on. Now, the eligibility for the Sherm exams, that depends on how many years of experience you have and whether that you have an HR related course or non-one. For example, when we talk about the CB, if you don't have a bachelor degree for the CB, you need to have 3 years in HR role, okay, if you have something related to HR. Now, 4, if you don't have, that increases when we go for the Sherm SCP. I'll leave you for a minute to check the differences in terms of the number of years required. Graduate here means someone who has a master's degree. So it is people who are coming with a high school or a diploma, then people who are having a bachelor degree, and then people who are having a higher studies, which is the master's degree or above. And again, they don't have anything for beginners, people who are coming with 0 experience. Now, how to pass the exam? Now, in Sherm, it is about the art and science. We talk about the behavioral competences, which is the art. So the exam is heavily emphasizing the situational judgment. So they will tell you a scenario, and then you have to choose the best answer, because sometimes you will have 2 correct answers. And something that always I tell to my students, when you want to answer the question, think internationally. Don't think how we would approach something in our own country. Think on the international scale. Okay, this is especially for the art. For the knowledge part, mainly it is about knowing things, direct questions, no scenarios. Now, let me give you an example for a scenario. Now, for example, how we want to distinguish between how we tackle things locally and how we should tackle them for the exam. Now, if you have an employee who is not working well and he is not delivering the objectives and this and that, you might go to choose that we have to terminate him or her. Now, internationally, this is not acceptable. There is counseling, PIPs, performance improvement plans, okay, warnings, and then eventually you go for the dismissal, but not directly. So you have to think internationally, because let's face it, not all of our practices here in the local HR community are up to the mark, or let's say not a good practice. Passing rates and the two different certificates. Now, these are the data from 2018 until 2021 until February, because something worth mentioning, when we talk about Sherm, they have two windows, means you don't take the exam year round. There are two windows. One window is from 1st of December until 15th of February. The second window is from 1st of May until 15th of July. 2 times during the year you are allowed to take the exam. And I'll leave you for a minute to check the passing grades. Passing grades here does not mean that you have to get 67% to pass the exam. This means out of 100 who attempted the exam, only 67% passed the exam for the CB, and 51 only passed the exam for the SCB. One of my students long time ago, they came to me, the exam is easy to pass for the SCB. I have only to get 41% and I'll pass the exam. I said, no, the good news for you that only 41% of those who attempted the exam actually passed the exam. Okay, so these are percentages of people who actually passed from the first attempt. That was about Sherm, and now moving forward, HRCI, founded in 1976, headquarters, Alexandria, Virginia, United States of America. And now someone might stop me and say that is the exact address of the Sherm. How come? Actually, before 2015, HRCI and Sherm, they used to be under the same umbrella. Sherm was developing the body of knowledge and competency. HRCI was responsible to test them. Now, what is the purpose of doing that? Now, for credibility, you cannot come up with the material and at the same time test people on the material. So this is the reason of their existence. Now they are separated. Now, people who are holding certificates from HRCI worldwide are 500,000. There are certificates here, they have more than this, but I included only those ending with I. They have certification for America, which includes the American labor law. They even have a particular certificate for California because they have different labor laws. Now here, if you'll see, now in America, they have ABHR, BHR, SBHR. They don't have the I. I means it is international, that the American laws have been removed because international practitioners, they don't have to have them. And this is my main focus. As I said, they have more certificate, but I want to talk only about the things that are related to us here in Kuwait. And let's talk about them one by one. Now, ABHRI, now something to the credit of HRCI that they came up with a certificate which is suitable for beginners. They have the ABHRI, someone who is a fresh graduate, someone who does not have any experience about HR directly out of the school, not necessarily having even a bachelor degree or a diploma, they can join it. Now, we know about courses called finance for non-HR people. Now, if you ask my opinion, then ABHRI is the HR for the non-HR people. It educates people about the main areas of HR, whether they are freshers or let's say operational managers dealing with promotions, investigations, succession planning, and all of that. So zero experience. Now, CIBD and Sherm are lacking this. Talking about the BHRI, now people who are coming with a bachelor degree, they have to have a minimum of 2 years of experience. And people who are not having a bachelor degree, they will have to have 4 years of experience. Now, if you have a master's degree, 1 year of experience, bingo, and you can apply to be certified. Now, these things are very crucial because Sherm, HRCI, they have audit. Now, you will think that, okay, I'll say that I have a bachelor degree while I don't have one, you will be audited. And if they found out that you are not eligible, then you cannot take the exam. Talking about the SBHRI for the seniors, now we are talking about the level of HR managers. We are talking about even HR directors. Now you have to have a minimum of 5 years of experience if you have a bachelor degree, 7 years of experience if you don't have anything more than the high school, and 4 years of experience if you have a master's degree. GBHR recently, now before there was a condition for the GBHR, it is the Global Professional and Human Resources. Before there was a condition that you have to have worked in more than one country to be able to apply for the GBHR. Recently, they revoked that condition. Anyone who is coming with 3 years of experience can apply for this certification, given that they have a bachelor degree, 4 years of experience if they don't have, and 2 years of experience if you have master's degree. So this is about the eligibility that allows people to apply for the different certification. Now let's talk about each one of them. I'll keep the GBHR because here in Kuwait we are more focused on ABHRI, BHRI, and SBHRI. So for the ABHRI, it has 5 domains. Now in the exam, it is 90 questions. So when we say 33% for HR operations, it means that 33% of the 90 questions will be coming from this domain: HR operations, recruitment and selection, compensation and benefits, human resource development and retention, and employee relations, health and safety. So this is the certificate which is for the beginners. Now for BHRI, we talk about 6 domains. The exam is 170 questions. So talent acquisition is 19%. HR administration and shared services, again, 19%. Talent management and development, 19%. Compensation, benefits, and work experience, 17%. Employee relations and risk management, 16%. And the least one of them is human resource information management with 10%. Okay. Now something, thank you, JD. By the way, guys, we have the director of the international partnership from HRCI who's honoring us with his presence. Okay, and thanks for reminding me. ABHRI, most recently in Saudi Arabia and hopefully soon in Kuwait, ABHRI has been launched in Arabic language. You can study the material, you can take the exam in Arabic. Okay.
Well, that's very good. And I think we welcome Mr. JD also, and it's our pleasure to have him with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Rabi. Moving forward to SBHRI. Now, SBHRI has 4 domains. Now, we are talking about 130 questions, okay, with different percentages coming from here and there. So business leadership, mainly about strategy, talking about things as cultural transformation, talking about mergers and acquisitions, 31%, talent development and management, 27%, HR service delivery, 24%, and measurement and analysis, because now you have to be good at reporting. You need to communicate your findings to management, and you need to do that in numbers. Okay, so this is for the 3 certifications that I wanted to certificates that I wanted to discuss. Okay, and moving forward. Now, this is the number of people who are holding the credentials worldwide as of January 2021. ABHRI, since it is a relatively new certificate, 413, BHRI 2,145, SPHRI 1,759. Now let's talk about the passing rate. Again, passing rate here, it does not mean that what is the percentage that you need to pass the exam. Now, passing the exam, you have to reach at least, now always I tell my students aim for 80% because the passing rate is 72 something, okay? ABHRI, the passing rate is 83%, BHRI 76%, SPHRI is 81%, so much easier compared to the Sherm. So that's it about it. Some of the testimonials. Alhamdulillah, I had the pleasure of teaching HRCI since 2017, Sherm since 2019, because as I told you, I've been banned from teaching for the credibility. So some of the people that passed with me, this is for PHRI. One funny situation, one of my students received his result when I was with him in the office. Okay. So things to be proud about. And same thing goes for the Sherm as well. Now, I want to have a practical discussion from a certified professional. Now, we spoke about the benefits of being certified. Now, that was theoretical. I want someone who has been certified to speak about this. It is my very good honor that I have been the instructor for Ms. Isra Abdulaziz for her BHRI, as well as for the SPHRI. And also I'm more honored that she became the first HRCI ambassador from Kuwait. Now I invite her to take the stage and to tell our audience about 3 things. Now, why she wanted to be certified, what was the motive behind her going to be attending those classes. Now, during the certification process, during the classes, what was her feeling, what she gained? And the third most important question, after taking the certification, what she felt, what she gained, what she found to be different. Isra, the floor is yours. Off you go.
Hi, thank you, Sammy. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Let me introduce myself. This is Isra Aziz, HR business partner of Yasra Fashion. I'm certified as a professional human resource international, as well as senior professional human resource international from HRCI. Most recently, as Sammy said, I became the HR ambassador, joining a team of HR ambassadors worldwide. And the very first from Kuwait and GCC. So thanks, JD, for this amazing opportunity. It's my honor and the privilege to be part of your team. So with regards to your first question, Sammy, why have I chosen to be certified? So being a leader, I felt that my knowledge and expertise wouldn't be taken seriously and professionally without being certified and taking an international recognized HR certification. Moreover, to post my international and strategic thinking. So this was the main thing I have chosen to be certified. And what I have felt during my certification process, actually, I felt empowered. I felt empowered to take the certification of the PHRI and the SPHRI, which upgrade my level of knowledge and letting me gain insights and validate my experience. During the course, I started to linking the theory to practices, which contributing to the overall success of the business and positively impacting the bottom line of my organization and supporting me to create better solutions for the people and the business I serve. and it allows me to stay current with the modern HR trends internationally and be trusted in my field. For instances, before I had my certification, when I was doing, for example, as an example, the job descriptions, I was doing based on my experience or the company practice. However, after taking the certificate, I started to proceed with a professional approach. And I came to know that there is different ways in proceeding with job descriptions, for example, like one-on-one meeting, observation, self-reports, survey, and how and when I choose the right approach. The same as well regarding the performance appraisal, the job evaluation, the job analysis, how to do the focus group, the balance scorecard, the change management. When you have the right knowledge, you will professionally execute. And this is how the materials or the science supporting me in my professional growth and in my career growth as well. And finally, what I have gained from the certification, I gained, of course, the knowledge, which gives me more self-confidence and leading the business discussion with confidence, starting using the correct terminologies and projecting myself as a true business partner and a strategic partner who knows how to support and deliver value to the organization, executing with excellence and upgrading the overall organizational performance. My certification, it's not just an extra qualification added to my CV. However, they showcase my knowledge, skills, competences as an HR professional. So it was my honor and my privilege to be an HR certified as a professional human resource international and senior professional human resource international, and will not stop in this stage. I will take, inshallah, the global professional human resource international in the beginning of the year. So inshallah. So thanks Sami, thanks for again for giving me this opportunity and sharing my experience with all the HR leaders. It's my honor and privilege. So thank you so much.
Pleasure is all mine. Happy you came that far. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Muhammad.
So that's why I wanted to include Isra today, because we hear so many people talking about certification. Now we want to hear success stories, how actually certification improved the lives of people as professionals as well as the personal lives. So thank you, Isra, for answering the 3 most important questions that people will have in their minds when they come. Now, why should I be certified? Now, what I'll feel during the certification process, and what is in it for me, what I'll gain after that is done already. So thank you so much. A great honor to have you as the first HRCI ambassador from Kuwait. Now, floor is yours.
I'd like also to thank Isra. I'd like also to thank Isra for this. And I wish you all the best. We have met many times, and Isra is one of the really giving the real example of people who take the certificate to implement. You know, many people just study for the study's sake, okay? But really, I'm really happy to see people come with the fruits and they can see the value, okay, for themselves and for their organizations as well.
Thank you, Dr. Rabia. It's my honor to be part of from the HR leaders, and inshallah, I will do my best to support all the HR leaders in Kuwait.
All the best, and inshallah, we'll have you in another session,
inshallah. Now, the floor is yours, everyone. Any questions about any certificates, any point of doubt? Now, something I'm sharing on the chat box with everyone. there's a free conference on the HRCR certification happening on October 28th. So I'm sharing it in the chat box. So this is a gift from Mr. George Yamudido. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. And now the floor is yours. Any questions, anything that I can help you with? I'm more than ready. MashaAllah, no questions means that I should understand that I have been crystal clear. So I did not leave any.
Muhammad,
Yes, boss.
almost people take some time, okay, because if they want to contribute, maybe this will take some time for them, okay, to contribute. Let's wait for the give you some time to think about questions or to contribute. So first of all, I'd like to thank Muhammad also about what you have presented to us. I think it's very useful and very practical. Okay, and really it's an eye-opener for many people. Okay, so hopefully this has helped to answer many questions. So our dearest colleague and our HR guru, Mr. Ahmed Hatoum, having a question. Ahmed.
Sure.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Muhammad, for this great presentation. It's really inspiring. It's really inspiring, and it's a roadmap. Actually, I will consider it as a professional career roadmap. Thank you so much. This is how you make a difference in people's life. You know, when you show them their next station and enjoy the journey of HR certification under your great leadership. I just wanted to add a bit of pepper to this amazing event. If we can share some success stories, how we changed some people's life, you know, who were on the edge of getting terminated or exiled from an organization, and how a certified HR professional stepped in to change this life from a failure into a success for both the employee and the organization.
Thank you so much for such a great question. Now, let me give the floor again for Isra, because she had a hands-on experience with this at one of the companies. Isra, please don't mention the company, but just speak about the general transformation that you have had with them. Floor is yours.
Sorry, Muhammad, again, repeat your question, sorry.
Now, how being a certified professional helped you in a situation when we had transitioning people who have been terminated, companies that needed to let them down and to remove them because of cost cutting? How being a certified professional helped you during that stage, during COVID-19 time, the peak time?
Yeah, I had an experience in this crisis, and I had a different point of view at that time, because, you know, in the crisis, we used to just have the stages to be implemented in the crisis. The first stage, in the first 3 to 6 months, how we'll proceed with the people, how to let them just go for vacation, just have asking them just to cut off the overtime, for example, and the next phase, how to ask them just to have unpaid leave, for example, and the last phase, it will be the termination. But unfortunately, most of the companies, they are implementing all the phases together, which impact negatively to their business and to their reputation as well. So when we had this process in the PHRI, I came to know what is the stages, how to lead the crisis, how to get out of the crisis, and how to lead it professionally without impacting the morale of the people or the employees you have. So yes, it was a great experience as well. We learned a lot from this experience, and we learned how to handle it in a professional manner. So yes, and in PHRI, it's helped me a lot to understand how to lead it in an effective way.
Thank you so much, Isra. So let's say, Mr. Ahmed, it has been mainly about damage control. Okay, now convincing companies during that time was really tough because people have been panicked. Okay, So let's say that the role was about controlling the damage rather than having absolute damage for most of the employees. Now let's minimize the effect as much as possible. Again, HR is the support, enabler, and facilitator.
Please free Ahmed to contribute.
Oh, I just wanted to say that what I understood from Isra's statement is that she stood strong in front of her direct top management to compromise or to leverage the cutting of working hours or the unpaid leave, and help balance both costs and retention.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, a great question from a great HR leader, Mr. Ahmed Hatoum, who's the HR leader for KDD.
Thank you so much. Yeah, actually, we had experienced the same challenges during COVID-19, and HR is always about creativity and innovation, where you have to come up with opportunities that some top management don't realize that they are there, and you can invest in people to cover up for these cost centers and turn them into profit centers. And yes, we have always to come up with innovative and creative manpower utilization ideas to make companies feel that they are not losing in terms of investing in their people, in their talent capital. And at the bottom line, we will be the chief human resources, the chief happiness officers by time. I think HR will move into chief happiness officers. If you are able to bring a smile on every employee's face, then you have aced your HR job. And this, I think, what is required from all certifying institutions across the globe.
Well said. Take care of your employees and they will take care of your business. An employee who is appreciated will do more than expected, always.
Exactly. Now, it's not that the customer is the king. Your employee is the king. If you satisfy the employee, you make them happy, he will make your customers happy. He will satisfy your customers. That's the updated formula. Your employee is the king.
Well,
this is music to my ears.
I love you, Dr. Muhammad. You're always the innovative, creative, and inspirational leader among us in every event. Really, we can't stop from having you over and over again.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure to be with you and all the people. This is the main reason of having these meetings and having the group of HR leaders, is to share knowledge and information, even the motivation that we share together. We support each other, because it's the main challenge is to change the mindset of the top management. Okay, but we have first to start with us, to be convinced. I have a staff that have a mission and we believe in our mission, and then we start with the top management. But if you don't believe, okay, we'll still stay the same. Okay, so now how you think about it, about putting happiness or smile on people's face, that's it. That's the real mission or the real function of the HR people. Okay.
I have one more important fact, if possible, to share with all of you. Now, just recently, post-COVID-19, the supply chain is facing big-time challenge. Raw materials are increasing big time, and companies are almost facing a financial drain on their bottom line financial statements. Therefore, we are required as HR leaders to step in for a transformational role, trying to develop, to train, and retain our workforce before we face mass layoffs. To be honest, raw materials market, international supply chain is facing a big time squeeze in terms of cost. Costs are going up, and raw materials are almost rare, and sustainability here is stepping in, automation, the machine taking place of humans. So learning, development, and unfortunately, I've seen so many companies training employees on things that they will never use in their career life, and they end up spending wrongly in the wrong dimension and causing their employees to face redundancy after a while. So we have to focus, we have to think of what additional roles, what other functions we can transform our employees to, so we might not lose them and destroy their lives. Our purpose is to engineer employees' life, to give them the happy balance of both life and work. And this is very important. I think manufacturing companies are witnessing this right now.
Yes.
Raw materials are going up. The management, supported by financial wrong decisions, unfortunately, they are thinking of laying off employees and replacing them with the new employees for lower salaries. We have to step in. We have to show that employees are valuable and they can perform multi-roles. And employees, they need a sort of counseling and orientation on what's going on so they can be prepared.
Thank you. Well said, words of wisdom as always. So for us today, what we had today was a little bit about my background in terms of training and why I'm talking about the different certificates, because I have been certified from different bodies. What is the definition of HR, the art and science of utilizing human capital effectively and efficiently in order to achieve organizational objectives? What is in it for you to be certified? What are the benefits of being certified? The different options when we come for the certifying bodies worldwide, questions and answers. I hope that the unknown is finally known. Let's see one question from Abir. Is it better to take BHRI certificate than SBHRI, or one of them will be enough? Now, see, if your organizational level is very high up, then you don't need to take the BHRI before going to the SBHRI. Okay. Now, it is not like a prerequisite that you cannot do the SBHRI unless you are BHRI. But in my observation, now, for example, both of them are attending. Batul Shweka, I'm happy that she is here. Isra also as well. Both of them, they took with me the BHRI, and then the SBHRI was relatively easy compared to other people who started directly with SBHRI, and then life was not very easy for them. Because the main reason for this here in Kuwait, they go and check the website and they say that I have more than 4 years of experience in HR, I should go for the SBHRI. It's not like this. Now, this is the American standard of doing things. Unfortunately, in most of the companies here in Kuwait, we are still doing personnel. So if you are coming with 10 years of experience, but what you are doing is about salary certificates, filing, processing the payroll. Now, this is not real HR, this is personnel. So again, it is not about the length of the experience, it is about the depth of the experience. Maybe you have 10 years of the experience repeating the first month all over again. So this is something that we need really to be careful of. That's why whenever someone calls me, now here I'm an HR professional. I get more fees for teaching SBHRI, but I don't allow people to join the course before I ask them, what is your level of education? What are the experiences that you have had with your job? You work as a generalist, or you have been a specialist in only one field or domain in HR. So you really need to assess that. So unless you are very sure that you can operate very well at the strategic level, I would recommend that you go for the operation level, which is being the BHRI. So even when I was discussing the number of batches that I have taught, BHRI, so far I have taught 12 batches. SBHRI, I taught 1. Okay, so I think that gives you a ratio about what is going on. And thank you for the question for sure.
I have another question that also many people ask me, okay, and maybe it's a critical one, but I think it's very important. So sure. Shall people go for the CIPD, different levels, or SBHRI, or the Sherm certificates? If someone calls you and want your sincere advice on this.
That happens a lot. that happens a lot, my dear doctor. Actually, I'm certified from the 3 of them. Now, it depends on you. Now, CIBD is very expensive. You're talking about 1500s plus, okay, even if you are doing it online. Now, Sherm is the second. It goes around 650 to 800. HRCI courses.
KD, right?
Yeah, I'm talking KD, of course. VHRI, SPHRI go between 450 and 600. Okay, now that depends. Sherm and HRCI, they come from the same school, which is multiple choice question, whereas CIBD is about researching. That you need to be good in Googling, you need to be good in, you actually have to have books references. Not everything is available openly on the internet. So if you are from that mentality of writing, researching, spending long hours looking for things, yes, this is an option. If you go for an easier option in terms of the financials, as well as the time commitment, CIBD, it will take for minimum of a year to be certified if you are working regularly on it. Now, in my experience, I took almost less than 2 years. Okay, I think 1 year and 8 months, because I was working, I was teaching, I was preparing the researches, which of course is time intensive and labor intensive, time consuming and labor intensive. Sherm and HRCI are lighter versions. Let's say that you'll spend 3 to 4 months attending the course, and let's say 2 or 3 months preparing for the exam. So let's say that you invest more or less 6 months into the process.
Great. I have another question also regarding how the top management perceives HR certificates. I know it has been a bit challenging for the past times, but I think now it's gaining more momentum or more recognition from top management.
Yes, yes, sure. Now, what is happening, people have more regard for the CIBD. I'm talking about Saudi because this is the more closer to the Kuwait market. Then second, Sherm. Then third, HRCI. For me, I believe that this is very unfair to the HRCI in terms of the content. Now, for me, I'm teaching the Sherm, I'm teaching the HRCI content. I think now CIBD has an issue because people have the question. I have been asked by my students before that, okay, I'll write a research. How they will be sure that it was me who wrote the research, maybe someone else did it for me. But whether you are attending Sherm or HRCI, you have been, they don't allow you into the testing center without your passport, without your civil ID. They'll take your watch, they'll take your wallet, they'll take your phone. There's a camera on top of your head all the time until you finish the exam. So some people say that, again, it is more authentic. But again, I took my certifications from the 3 of them. So I believe each one of them had something that the other lacked, one way or another. Now, an example between HRCI and Sherm, for example, the HRCI content on risk management is not as strong as the Sherm content on risk management. But whereas when it comes for workforce planning, HRCI is much stronger than the Sherm. And like this.
Yes, okay. I'm talking in general also about the top management. It's not only about the certificate in general.
Yeah. The recognition for CIBD. Recognition mostly is for CIBD, how they assume it, especially for the banking sector. Now, there's a recent bill that I found for executives. They prefer CIBD first, Sherm second, HRCI last.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean that if you are certified, this will give you competitive advantage compared to the fields.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely, it will give you, because here, same like what Isra said, now your terminology changes. Yes. The way you tackle and approach things changes heavily. You can show numbers, you can showcase what is the right decision supported with the evidence. You take a decision based on evidences. Yes, and which is, of course, appreciated by the top management, because yes, as Mr. Ahmed said, we have been tagged as the cost center. Now we are pulling a chair at the strategy table and we show our importance and our value to the top management. And this is being recognized recently. If I'll talk also about my own experiences in different companies, yes, being certified was always an advantage for me.
That's really great. And I think also that had always been the challenge between you just take the certificate for the exam or you really take to apply it. Okay. And that's a real challenge. If you are lucky enough to be working in an organization that really supports you and allows you to implement what you have learned, okay, this would be great. And again, this was one of the things that we have now, the HR Excellence Club. And the main idea about the HR Excellence Club is to get people together to apply what they have learned, okay, or to change their experience. Because many people just read or attend lectures or whatever, okay, but again, when it comes to real on-hands experience, that's a real challenge. So hopefully, inshallah, people can take the certificate and then apply really and see the fruits and the value added to the people.
Inshallah, definitely.
Inshallah.
Definitely, doctor.
Yes.
So thank you for having me today. Thank you everyone who attended. That was a great honor presenting for the HR leaders of Kuwait under the leadership of Dr. Rabia, who always never fails to bring us new topics, being new this time, like HR transformation, digitalization, HR analytics from Mr. Ahmed Hatoum before. So let's look forward for the next session.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much, our dearest brother and colleague, Mohammed Thani. And we thank all the participants and thank Isra for enriching us with her practical experience. And we're really looking forward to exchange more experience and to add more value to ourselves, our colleagues, our organizations, and the whole community. So thank you so much. Inshallah, we'll put also the recording of the session on our YouTube channel. And inshallah, we'll always see you. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rabia. Thank you, Sami. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best, inshallah. And inshallah, looking forward to see you in coming sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.